Hello and welcome to another episode of Top3Tech. I'm your host Jerry Reese, and today I'm pretty excited to review this GPU because I've never I've never tested I guess I have never tasted a ASUS TUF GPU, but today we have the ASUS TUF GeForce RTX 4070 Ti. GeForce, jeez, I can't even talk. Well, let's go ahead and get to the benchmarks and the unboxing because I'm already all messed up. That's how excited I am. We are at the unboxing segment. Like I told my cousin in the text, I might be fanboying a little, but I really like how they package this on the outside at least. It's actually a pretty small and skinny box compared to all the rest of the newer series cards I have tested. Oh man, and even the inside of this is pretty nice as well. Look at this. So that's pretty awesome, creative, I like it. When companies go above and beyond like this, I appreciate it because, I mean, you're spending a lot of money on these cards, on these stuff. Look at the TUF on the back. So it's nice to look at this. TUF Gaming on the bottom left. So this is already awesome for me. You get more money. You get more bang for your buck, is what I was trying to say. Sorry guys, I'm a little backwards today. Getting over being sick from my previous episode, so you might be able to tell. And since we're unboxing, comes with this Velcro. Sorry guys. TUF Gaming, awesome. Look it. Comes with the new dongle, with the 16 pin. You plug those bad boys in there. Two 8-pin connectors, so you need 16 pin total. That's, oh, I was gonna say, is that all? Oh, and look, it comes with a little GPU stand with a TUF on it. Awesome. Looks like you spin this bad boy. Oh, sorry. You spin this bad boy and it rises. Oh man, this is gonna take forever. Oh, there you go. Oh, it's a screwdriver. Awesome. So it's a screwdriver and it's a GPU bracket holder. And if it's not, that's what I would use it for. Just lift that up and then hold your GPU in place. So awesome. Like I said, I like when companies go ahead and include stuff like this because you are spending money and these are expensive. So give us more stuff. It's great. I'm sorry, the people that get mad at me when I advocate for more stuff and more RGB on the cards and better aesthetics. People do get mad at me, surprisingly. Because guess what? You're spending a lot of money on these. And if you don't like RGB on your cards, you could always turn them off. Look at that. Anything else in here? Oh, the booklet. It's tucked away. Jeez. The ASUS. So, yes, so far, just at least packaging wise, this thing is awesome. What is this? Thank you for purchasing an ASUS graphics card. Yeah, these are little cutouts. So it looks like you can do a little stand. Is this a little GPU stand? How to use? Scan the barcode. Huh. this little card. If you know ASUS, they have little trading cards. Warranty. Oh, it is a graphics card holder, I was right. And screwdriver. So it just tells you how to use it. I'm so smart. Certificate of reliability. Nice. You like that? And what else is in here? We still got more. Make sure that 16-pin cable is fully inserted into a PCIe port on the graphics card so the plastic tab on the top of the cable connector clicks into place. Do not bend this cable in order to achieve full insertion. I'm wondering if this is new or if it was after the 4090 card. This came out after the 4090s. So I wonder if they started putting all this. Quick start guide on the ASUS. But that's all the contents. Let's go ahead and get a close-up on this GPU.
This card does have a triple fan design on it and measures 305mm in length. We have the TUF logo on the bottom and the top. We got the GeForce RTX on the bottom, performance mode, quiet mode diagram written under that, and the heat vent on the right. We have TUF Gaming on the bottom left, GeForce RTX on the bottom. On top of that we got the BIOS switch. To the right of that we have the 16-pin socket that holds the dongle that connects it to 8 PCIe cables, and then we got the TUF logo with the LED bar on the bottom. We have 2 HDMI 2.1 slots and 3 native DisplayPort 1.4 slots.
So we have some GPUs to compare it to physically, and crazily enough, I have the 3070 Ti on hand, the EVGA. Let's compare these other cards first, then we'll look at the differences between the NVIDIA cards. So this is the Sapphire Nitro Plus Special Edition 6800 XT. It has the RGB fans in the front. This is the Sapphire Pulse. No RGB on this whole card. It's got these little red lines. This is the Intel Arc, but this is the Predator Bifrost version, the A770. It's got a metal finish. It has the logo there. I really like this card. One of the best looking. It's got a light here, LED here. Those are changeable. They don't sync with your motherboard though, so that's a shame. We have this TUF Gaming, which doesn't have too much RGB on it, which a lot of people will like, and a lot of people won't like. And we have the EVGA for the Win 3 Ultra 3070 Ti. It's got the LED bar right here in the front, EVGA symbols on the fans, and literally on the fans. And it's got this little grid feel. It's funny because they're almost the same size. Well, lengthwise, the 4070 Ti is a little longer. Look how thick this card is compared to the 3070 Ti. It's a thick boy. And you're gonna hear me say something about one of my 7900 XT videos, the Merc Black Edition. I complained that that card was too plain, and a lot of people say cards don't deserve RGB. This card does not have RGB, but is not plain whatsoever. I love this card because it has indistinct markings that you could tell it is ASUS TUF Gaming. So no RGB, but it does have personality, and that's what I was talking about. Look at these ridges that stick out. It indents right here in the middle. It has TUF Gaming there. It has the TUF logo and ASUS in the middle. So if you're gonna do no RGB, that's the way I want it done. So if we look at the back of these cards, this Radeon Sapphire Nitro, it's silver. It's got these little nice colors on it. It's got the RGB logo. Right there, it lights up, says Sapphire. It is 16-pin, has a BIOS switch. Nice features. This card wasn't on RGB, remember the Sapphire Pulse? It does have this red line through it. Love that look. It's got a heat vent. 16-pin, BIOS switch, Sapphire Radeon. Pretty nice looking card. Can't go wrong with that. And this is the Predator Bifrost. I like this symbol. This is some people say this is tacky. It's not too bad in my opinion. It says Intel Arc A770. Let's you know what it is. Heat vent, 16-pin. Intel Arc lights up. The Predator Bifrost, or it just says Predator on it, lights up. The logo's there as well. Here's the 3070 Ti. Heat vent built in. It's got holes there and here, holes all around. says GeForce RTX, BIOS switch, big RGB bar there, 16 pin, very nice looking, one of my favorite designs as well. When you compare it to this GeForce RTX, I love that. Look at this design here. It's got TUF and the TUF logo. It says GeForce RTX. This little feature, I mean, it's not the craziest, but you gotta like it. Heat vent and TUF gaming on the bottom left, GeForce RTX in the middle, and this lights up, and this bar underneath lights up as well. And then the 16 pin socket, BIOS switch. And when comparing this to the 7900 XT Black Edition Merc, which I said was the ugliest card of the next gen anyways, that card was just plain on the back. It was silver, and you could say the silver was a nice feature. But if you're going to do plain look, at least give it little touches. Maybe not go all out like this, but that card had no markings. This has the TUF on it. It's distinguished, you know what it is. So that's my opinion on it. And then someone also said that that card has no RGB, but they like the way the light bounces off of it. And I thought that was funny because I'm like, so you guys do like RGB lighting on it? But that's neither here nor there. But anyways, that's comparing them physically. So far, this is my favorite next gen card, how it looks physically anyways. And the 3070 Ti, the only comparison we're going to do is by looks, because technically this is a 3090 card. So that's the real comparison we're going to do. But let's go ahead and see how it looks like in the PC. We're going to go ahead and put the GPU in the case. It is LandCool 2. I got the TUF Gaming motherboard, the X570. So we're going to go ahead and put it in there, see how it looks. And I also got to cool the room down a little more because, as you can see, it's a 74. I do benchmark it at a 72-degree setting. But let's go ahead and put that bad boy in there. Bruh, the card is so thick my graphics card holder didn't fit under there. So I used the one that was in the case. Jeez. So that's how it looks like powered off. Let's go ahead and turn it on. I had to update Armory Crate real quick. The RO kit on there was older. Wouldn't find the 4070 Ti. My graphics card holder doesn't fit with this card. It's too thick. So I did use the one that was included. But that's my dog barking. This is how it looks like on rainbow mode, synced. That's pretty much the only RGB on there is that little bar and that logo. Let me see. RFX, go to static. That's probably what I'm gonna leave it on. And I gotta sync the NVMe the same color. Breathing's always nice. So I'm gonna go to static though. I'm not too sure if, let's see. I'm probably gonna do white. Okay, because it matches my PC case and the letters on the GPU. Or I don't know if I should do the TUF colors, like the golden. That's actually perfect. Or if I should just do the TUF colors. I'll probably leave it on like this, and it matches the Hennessy. But let's go ahead and get to the benchmarks and see the results that we get on that. Before we get started with the benchmarks, let me go ahead and introduce the Top3Tech PC specs. We have the ASUS X570 TUF Gaming Plus Wi-Fi motherboard. We have a Ryzen 7 5800X CPU. We have 32GB of Corsair Vengeance 3200 MHz RAM. And of course, today we're going to be tasting. Oh my god. We're going to be testing the ASUS TUF Gaming Overclock GeForce RTX 4070 Ti. It has 2760 MHz of boost clock, 2730 MHz of game clock. It only has 12GB GDDR6X memory. It is on the new Lovelace architecture, and they do recommend a minimum 750 watt PSU. Resizable bar and smart access memory are turned on. FSR and DLSS are applied when available, and Cyberpunk does have DLSS 3. So for $850, this is supposed to be replacing the 3090, I suppose. When I checked, there's not a lot in stock. They're kind of hard to find. And the 3090 Ti was priced at 1,500 MSRP back at launch. Now it's a lot cheaper. This card does 3090 Ti performance sometimes. Sometimes it does 6950 XT performance. And those cards range from $700 and under. Sometimes a little bit more. But it's kind of rare to find them a little bit more now. Or if you wait a little bit, you can find them for 700 or under. But this card does worse than those at times, depending on the game. And this card only has 12 gigabytes of VRAM. It is GDDR6X memory, but I don't know, it's kind of weird because the 3090 and 3090 Ti came with 24 gigabytes of VRAM. And with games being more and more demanding, you definitely need a bump up in VRAM. And 12 gigabytes is unacceptable. Maybe that's why they decided to call it the 4070 Ti, because if they called it something else, maybe the 4080 like it was supposed to be, they'd feel like there would be people off, because 12 gigabytes was the old premium, and even then it was lacking. So for performance, I would probably just say get a 6950 XT. They're cheaper, but I don't know. This is kind of an odd card, because 850 is not bad, but people do say to get this over 7900 XT, which I honestly don't agree with performance-wise. But when it comes to ray tracing, I guess that's what they mean, and we'll check that out right now. So unfortunately, I don't have too much games to test with ray tracing on. I do have the Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's a game that does pretty well with NVIDIA cards, and you saw that this card did do pretty good, especially with DLSS on. And we do have Cyberpunk as well. That game has real ray tracing, pretty much from the ground up. It was built. It's not just like the shadows or just reflections. It resonates throughout the whole game, and you can see that one's pretty demanding. The 7900 XT without DLSS or FSR, it does keep up with it in 4K. The 4080 gets away from those two, but in 1440p, this card does do a little bit better with ray tracing. But with DLSS 3 enabled, which is a whole different story, it triples the 4070 Ti, and it's actually pretty crazy in 1440p, and in 4K it pushes it to 60 frames, which is pretty nice. The only thing is that it is a little choppy with artifacts, and I do have it on quality, but you can tell that there is a filter on, but it's not super bad. It's actually quite impressive what it's capable of doing. But I'm not the biggest anti-alias, but super sampling guy. I like everything at natural rasterization, so I don't really like to compare them with DLSS. But if you like to play like that, this is a pretty good card to play ray tracing with. And of course on Far Cry, that's another one that has just like shadows and some lights enabled, and it's not full ray tracing. And the 6950 XT does better than this card in that. So, but that is more of an AMD biased game. I will be getting more ray tracing games, but everyone says that this card is better at ray tracing, so I'm just gonna have to go ahead and say that that's true. And as we saw with Cyberpunk, it did lead the GPUs, well, at least the NVIDIA GPUs and the AMD ones, and then the 4080s the next tier up, and so of course that one's a boss too. While gaming with ray tracing on, I was getting about 240 to 250 watts drawn, which isn't too bad compared to the 700 XT, which was at 320 watts, I believe, while gaming. So it doesn't consume too much power, which is a plus, and that's way less than the 3090 and 3090 Ti, since we were comparing it to those cards previously, or it's its replacement. So it does have the one up on that. Like I said previously, I really like the design of this card, the box. I do like that it does come with the extra HDMI slot, because, I mean, why not? You never know how much slots you're going to need. The average user probably only needs 1 to 3, maybe 1 to 2, but 1 to 3 just to be on the safe side. And but you never know. And the only thing that does suck about the slots, since we're talking about it's nice to have an extra one, is the display port. It's only 1.4A. It'd be nice to have the new 2.1A, but that's a whole Lovelace feature, or a whole 40 series feature that these cards don't have for some reason. But not the XFX, the AMD cards do. So it's a little odd, but it's not the end of the world. But if you do want to game at 4K 120 Hz, you have to use your HDMI slot, not your DisplayPort slot. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, it was supposed to be the 4080 12GB version, the 4080 Lite, whatever they're going to call it. But there was a lot of backlash, so instead they changed it to the 4070 Ti. And even then, it's kind of odd. It's more expensive than a 4070 Ti should be, but it performs better than a 4070 Ti should, I guess, if you compare it to a 3070 Ti. So it's a really weird card. I don't know if they named the 4090 too high. I don't know. Their naming is really weird now, and the prices are pretty crazy. So they don't really match together, and I feel like that really drops the ball on people's expectations of what these cards are supposed to be, and that first start didn't help at all. So to summarize my thoughts on this, Call of Duty kept crashing too, which sucked. The last time I used the 4080, it would crash on me too. I don't know if it's just my system with the NVIDIA cards or what, but that kind of sucked. But my final thoughts on this, I mean, is it a worthy replacement for the 3090? Mostly. It does, when it comes to frames, you get pretty much the same frames, you get close to it. At similar prices of what you'd get a 3090 for. I just don't like that you don't get as much VRAM. If not 12GB, or if not 24 gigabytes of VRAM, at least 16 minimum. 20 would be nice, but if you're gonna skimp out on it, at least do 16. Last year, a bunch of the AMD cards had 16, and that was like 6800 and up. So I don't see why they couldn't do it with this. I understand it is GDDR6X memory, but I would definitely recommend them bump that up whenever they can. It is a pretty nice card, and at $850, I would probably recommend 7900 XT. But if you really like ray tracing, then go ahead and hop on this card. Or if you really like NVIDIA, then get this card if you're looking at this price range. If not the 7900 XT, I'd probably recommend a 6950 XT. They're a little cheaper, similar performance, sometimes beats this card, but it's really up to you guys. At the end of the day, I don't know how much you've had your mind made up, or if you already purchased this card. So if you're watching this and you purchase this card, I hope that this is able to help you. I'm not trying to down on the card. It's just 850 is a lot of money. So I'm just telling people, I'm giving them their options. But either way, beautiful card, performs pretty good. The power limits are nice, and it's not over the top. I can't even talk to you guys. It's been a long week. It's not too over the top on the design looks. Not too much RGB. People will like that. But if you want this card, $850 is not too bad of a price for an ASUS card. Normally they're a lot more expensive. But I appreciate you guys watching this and for watching till the end. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask below. And I appreciate you guys for sticking through. And I'll catch you guys next week. Peace. Thank you for watching another video from Top 3 Entertainment. I hope you hit like and subscribe. Also, I'm going to have a recommended playlist, a recommended video right here, so make sure to click that as well. I appreciate you guys tuning in, whether it be to the Top 3 Tech, Top 3 Gaming, or the Why Not Me podcast. You guys are dope. I hope to see you guys in the next video. And of course, let's grow this thing together. Peace. Peace. Peace.